Imagine a man standing silently beside you, appearing calm, composed, even indifferent at times. Yet inside, a storm of emotions is quietly shaping his heart. What if I told you that the reason he falls in love isn't what you see on the surface, but something far deeper, something so subtle that most women never notice? Today we're going to explore the hidden forces of the male heart through the lens of Carl Jung's psychology, and uncover why men truly fall in love and why it often goes unseen. Men often fall in love through emotional resonance, a process that unfolds beneath the surface long before he consciously realizes what is happening. When people talk about attraction, they often focus on appearance, charm, or behavior. But emotional resonance is something far more subtle and powerful. It is the quiet moment when a woman reflects something familiar, yet long forgotten within him, creating a sense of recognition that feels both comforting and transformative. He is not simply drawn to her. He is drawn to how he feels in her presence, and this feeling comes from a deeper psychological level that aligns with Jung's idea of the inner world speaking through symbols, emotions, and intuition. For men, emotional resonance begins when he senses that she understands a part of him without explanation. This does not mean she knows everything about him, nor does it require dramatic conversations or confessions. It happens in small moments. When she responds to his humor in a way that makes him feel accepted, when she listens without trying to fix him, when she senses his mood without him having to express it. These gestures seem ordinary, but to his unconscious mind, they act like keys unlocking a door he didn't know was closed. In these moments, he feels a softening inside, a quiet recognition that this person reaches him in a way few people do. Men often carry emotional worlds that are unspoken and understated. Many have learned to suppress vulnerability, not out of coldness, but out of habit, survival, or expectation. Because of this, they rarely meet someone who speaks to these inner layers effortlessly. When a woman intuitively aligns with his emotions, when she mirrors his deeper feelings even without knowing it, he experiences a resonance that bypasses logic. This is not about perfection or performance. It is about feeling emotionally understood on a level he cannot easily articulate. He falls in love not because he chose to, but because part of him wakes up in her presence. Emotional resonance also awakens a sense of belonging in him. A man may function confidently in the world, achieving things, carrying responsibilities, presenting strength, yet still feel a silent distance between who he is and what he longs to express. When he encounters a woman who bridges that gap with presence, warmth, or emotional clarity, he feels a connection that reaches beyond attraction. It touches the unspoken parts of him, the parts he rarely shares. She becomes, without trying, a safe emotional landscape where he feels permission to exist without guarding himself. This resonance does not require dramatic intensity. Sometimes it is experienced through shared values reflected in everyday interactions, or the way she responds to his quiet moments, or the calm energy she brings when he feels overwhelmed. He is moved by the feeling of alignment, this sense that she understands the language of his inner world even when he cannot speak it. This is why men often fall in love with women who make them feel emotionally centered, grounded, or authentically themselves. The attraction becomes less about her appearance and more about the inner familiarity she represents. Women may not always notice how deeply this resonance affects him because men often express it indirectly. Instead of using emotional words, he may show increased attentiveness, a quiet loyalty, or a sudden desire to be near her more often. These behaviors are his way of responding to the feeling that she understands him, even if he has not consciously acknowledged the depth of his connection. He might feel calmer around her without knowing why, or more motivated, or more open. These subtle changes are reflections of how emotional resonance operates beneath awareness. Jung's psychology suggests that when something in another person awakens a hidden part of the self, the emotional response is powerful. For men, this awakening often feels like recognition, a sense that she reflects a part of him he has ignored or forgotten. He may not label it as emotional resonance, but he feels it deeply as comfort, safety, inspiration, or connection. This is why he falls in love through emotional resonance. It is the moment she unknowingly touches the inner world that he rarely reveals but secretly wants someone to understand. Men often fall in love when they feel that their inner conflicts, fears, and aspirations are understood without judgment, and this creates a depth of emotional connection that many women don't realize is happening. For most men, the world rarely offers a space where they can reveal the parts of themselves that feel uncertain, fragile, or unfinished. They grow up learning to carry their struggles quietly, often believing that their emotional weight is theirs alone to bear. Because of this, when a woman comes into his life who seems to understand not just what he shows, but also what he hides, it touches something profoundly human within him. It creates an inner shift, a feeling of safety that is rare enough to become unforgettable. Understanding without judgment does not mean solving his problems or analyzing his emotions. It is the subtle sense that she sees the tension behind his silence, the worry behind his smile, or the effort behind the persona he wears in the world. Many men live with unspoken fears: fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear of losing control, fear of disappointing others. These fears remain locked behind their outward confidence or strength. When he feels that a woman recognizes these fears without making him feel small or weak, he experiences a kind of acceptance that he may never have felt before. A man's hidden world often holds contradictions. He wants to be strong, yet he feels vulnerable. He wants to be confident, yet he struggles with doubts. He wants to be independent, yet he longs for emotional closeness. These internal conflicts shape his identity, and he rarely shares them openly. When a woman can sense these contradictions, not by questioning him endlessly, but simply by being emotionally present, he feels understood in a way that releases tension inside him. He begins to associate her presence with emotional relief, and this is one of the quiet foundations of his love. Men often fear being judged for their struggles. They fear appearing incompetent, confused, or overly emotional. So when she listens without rushing to correct him, when she lets him speak freely without turning his vulnerability into a lesson, he feels something almost sacred: emotional permission. Permission to be human. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to step out of the role he plays for the world and into the truth of who he is. This permission opens the door to intimacy on a psychological level. It allows him to trust her not just with his stories, but with his inner contradictions. His aspirations also play a role in this dynamic. Every man carries dreams he has not fulfilled, goals he is afraid of pursuing, and ambitions he quietly guards. When he feels she respects these hopes and understands why they matter to him, he feels supported in a way that strengthens his attachment to her. She becomes someone who not only sees where he is, but also understands where he longs to go. And when a man feels that his deeper aspirations are seen, not ridiculed or doubted, he begins to believe in them even more strongly. This belief, reinforced by her empathy, becomes tied to his emotional connection with her. What women often don't notice is that these moments of being understood create deep emotional imprints in him. He may not express his gratitude openly. He may not verbalize how much it means to him that she is gentle with his fears or patient with his imperfections. But internally, he begins to associate her with emotional safety, which is one of the strongest forces that guide a man's attachment. He feels anchored with her, grounded, and less alone in his internal struggles. Jung's psychology emphasizes that love often emerges when one person becomes a bridge to another's inner world. For men, that bridge is built through understanding that comes without criticism. It is this quiet, unspoken acceptance that makes him fall not just for who she is, but for who he becomes in her presence. And this emotional transformation becomes the foundation of a love that grows steadily and deeply within him. In Jungian psychology, the concept of the anima, the inner feminine within every man, plays a profound role in understanding why men fall in love, often in ways that women do not immediately recognize. The anima represents the unconscious feminine qualities in a man: intuition, emotional sensitivity, receptivity, and the capacity for connection. From early life, men develop their persona, the outward mask they present to the world, which is often focused on strength, logic, and competence. However, beneath this surface, the anima quietly exists, guiding feelings, desires, and attractions. When a man encounters a woman who somehow embodies or reflects aspects of this inner feminine, it awakens a powerful unconscious attraction that can form the roots of love. This process is rarely conscious. Men do not sit down and analyze whether a woman reflects their anima. Instead, they experience an inexplicable pull toward her, a resonance that feels both magnetic and meaningful. She may exhibit qualities of care, empathy, creativity, or emotional insight that align with the parts of him he has not fully acknowledged. These qualities mirror the inner life he may have neglected or suppressed, and in this reflection he finds recognition and validation. The attraction is therefore not merely about external beauty or charm, but about the recognition of something deeper within himself, something that has long been waiting to be seen. The projection of the anima is an unconscious mechanism. Initially, the man projects his inner feminine onto the woman, idealizing her and attributing qualities to her that are actually part of his own psyche. This projection is often responsible for the intense fascination or infatuation he feels early in love. In Jung's view, these projections are not deceptive. They are symbolic gestures of the psyche, showing a man what he unconsciously seeks in order to integrate his own inner life. When the woman reflects these qualities, even without knowing it, he feels understood in a way that is deeply gratifying and often transformative. As the relationship develops, the man may begin to confront his projections and recognize the woman as a distinct individual, separate from the qualities he attributes to her. This is a critical stage in the evolution of love because it moves the connection from unconscious projection to conscious recognition and emotional intimacy. The woman becomes not just a mirror for his inner feminine, but a partner in whom he sees both his reflection and the possibilities for growth. This interplay allows him to engage with the parts of himself that he has resisted or ignored, creating an emotional depth and attachment that is profoundly stabilizing. Men often do not verbalize this process, which is why women may overlook its significance. They may notice his attention, care, or dedication, but miss the psychological roots of his attraction. What they see externally is often the effect of a far more subtle internal experience, a man falling in love because she embodies, reflects, and awakens parts of his inner world that have been hidden, suppressed, or unacknowledged. This is why early infatuation can feel overwhelming. It is not merely desire for her person, but the recognition of the life he sees through her presence, the integration of his anima into conscious experience. The impact of the anima in shaping a man's love also explains why he may seem drawn to qualities that are not immediately obvious or conventional. Emotional intelligence, patience, subtle humor, intuition, and emotional attunement are often the traits that unconsciously trigger his love, more than outward appearance or social charm. These qualities signal that she resonates with his inner feminine, offering a connection that validates and awakens the deepest aspects of his psyche. In her presence, he experiences a sense of alignment, completeness, and emotional wholeness that he rarely finds elsewhere. Ultimately, men fall in love through the awakening of the anima because it allows them to connect with themselves at a deeper level. The woman becomes a living symbol of the emotional and intuitive aspects of his own psyche, and this symbolic resonance ignites feelings of attachment and care. Jung's psychology shows us that this attraction is not superficial. It is a profound interplay between the conscious and unconscious, between who he is in the world and who he is within. By recognizing and responding to the anima within him, a woman unknowingly awakens the forces that lead a man to love deeply, persistently, and meaningfully. What women often do not notice is that men fall in love not only with who a woman is, but with how she makes him feel about himself. While outward qualities such as appearance, intelligence, or charm may initially attract a man, the deeper bond of love forms when he experiences an emotional reflection of his own value, purpose, and significance through her presence. This process is subtle and largely unconscious, operating at a psychological level where he measures safety, acceptance, and affirmation. In essence, a man's heart is drawn to the way a woman validates his inner world, even when she is unaware that she is doing so. Men are conditioned from early life to project strength, self-sufficiency, and resilience. Society often discourages open displays of vulnerability, emotional sensitivity, or dependence, creating a tension between the outer persona and the inner emotional world. For many men, this creates a quiet longing for someone who can see beyond the mask, someone who recognizes and affirms the value of their authentic self. When a woman interacts in ways that reinforce his worth, listens attentively without judgment, and acknowledges the effort he invests in life, he experiences a subtle but powerful form of validation. This emotional recognition becomes a primary factor in why he begins to fall in love, often before he fully understands why he feels drawn to her. The way she makes him feel is not simply about praise or flattery. It is about creating a reflective, emotional environment in which he senses that he can be himself without the constant need for performance or defense. When a man perceives that a woman respects his choices, trusts his judgment, and supports his aspirations, he experiences a release from the inner pressure of constantly proving his worth. This release fosters emotional intimacy and creates fertile ground for love to develop. What he feels is not just comfort or pleasure, but a deeper resonance, a sense that his inner self is being recognized and appreciated, which fulfills an unconscious need that he may not have even realized existed. This emotional response explains why men may fall in love with women who are attuned, patient, or intuitively understanding rather than those who are outwardly perfect or highly demonstrative. The attraction is tied to the perception of safety and acceptance she offers, which allows him to explore parts of himself he keeps hidden from the world. For example, when she listens to his fears without ridicule, when she acknowledges his dreams without criticism, or when she engages with his thoughts and ideas thoughtfully, he feels that his inner world matters. He begins to associate her presence with emotional wholeness and belonging, forming the foundation of enduring love. Furthermore, this process highlights the difference between infatuation and meaningful attachment. While infatuation can be sparked by physical attraction or novelty, the kind of love that grows through emotional reflection is deeper and more sustainable. It is nurtured by subtle, consistent interactions that make him feel significant, understood, and accepted. Men internalize this validation unconsciously, connecting the woman to a sense of personal security and emotional growth. Over time, this creates a bond that is less dependent on external circumstances and more rooted in the psychological and emotional resonance between them. Jungian psychology emphasizes that humans are drawn to what completes and balances their inner world. For men, the woman who makes him feel valued fulfills this principle by aligning with aspects of his psyche that crave acknowledgement, acceptance, and integration. He does not necessarily articulate these feelings in words. Often they manifest through loyalty, attentiveness, protective instincts, or subtle gestures of care. Yet beneath these behaviors lies a profound truth. He loves the woman not just for who she is, but for how she amplifies his sense of self, making him feel fully seen, appreciated, and alive. This emotional reflection is often invisible to women, but it is a core reason why men fall in love deeply, persistently, and unconsciously. Men often fall in love when a woman creates a space where he can remove the mask he wears for the world and step into his truest self. Every man carries a persona, a social identity shaped by expectations, responsibilities, and the pressures of appearing strong, competent, and self-sufficient. This persona is necessary for functioning in society, but it often comes at the cost of suppressing vulnerability, tenderness, and authentic emotional expression. A man's deepest longing is to be accepted for who he really is, without judgment or pressure to perform. When a woman, intentionally or unconsciously, provides this kind of emotional sanctuary, it becomes a powerful catalyst for love. This space of acceptance allows him to reveal parts of himself he rarely shares. He may show his fears, doubts, or insecurities without fearing that they will diminish his worth in her eyes. He may express emotions that he typically hides, allowing himself to feel without shame. The ability to do this is transformative because it reconnects him to aspects of himself that have been suppressed for survival or social expectation. When he experiences this sense of freedom and emotional safety, he begins to associate it with the woman who provides it, and his attachment deepens in ways that often go unnoticed by her. Men also fall in love in this context because it validates their sense of authenticity. The more he can step out of the persona and still feel accepted, the more he trusts the woman emotionally. Trust and vulnerability are deeply intertwined. A man may be capable of showing strength and composure to the world, but revealing his inner self is a risk. When she meets him there with understanding and patience, he experiences an emotional reciprocity that builds attachment and admiration. This is not about dependence or neediness. It is about the freedom to exist fully and openly, a rare experience that can make love feel inevitable and profound. This dynamic also explains why men often feel a strong pull toward women who intuitively sense their needs without being told. She may notice subtle shifts in his mood, respond with quiet empathy, or offer support that feels natural rather than calculated. These small, consistent interactions signal that he does not need to perform to be worthy of attention or care. For a man who is accustomed to hiding parts of himself, these gestures are deeply meaningful. They create a sense of alignment between his inner and outer worlds, making him feel whole and understood, and this emotional resonance often becomes the foundation for love. Furthermore, when a woman allows a man to be his true self, she encourages his psychological growth. Men grow emotionally and spiritually when they feel accepted for who they are, not who they are expected to be. In this environment, he can explore his feelings, confront internal conflicts, and integrate parts of himself that he may have ignored. Her presence becomes associated with both comfort and inspiration, as she simultaneously reflects acceptance and encourages self-discovery. This combination fosters an emotional intensity and loyalty that is difficult to replicate elsewhere. In essence, men fall in love when a woman offers a space for authenticity because it meets a fundamental psychological need. She becomes not just a partner, but a mirror and a sanctuary, a presence that allows him to reconcile the tension between his inner self and outward persona. The love that grows from this experience is deep, enduring, and rooted in the recognition of his truest self, a recognition that is often invisible but profoundly shaping his heart and his attachment. Men often fall in love when a woman unconsciously awakens his desire for inner integration, helping him move toward wholeness without trying to change him. Jungian psychology teaches that each person carries fragmented aspects of the psyche, parts of themselves they may ignore, suppress, or deny. For men, these fragments can include vulnerability, emotional sensitivity, creativity, and intuition, which are often overshadowed by societal expectations of strength, independence, and stoicism. A man's unconscious longs to integrate these hidden parts, to reconcile the tension between his inner self and the persona he presents to the world. When a woman's presence, words, or subtle behavior encourages him to explore and accept these parts, she becomes a catalyst for both personal growth and emotional attachment. This awakening does not usually happen through direct instruction or advice. Men rarely respond to being told to open up or express themselves. Instead, they respond to the environment a woman creates, consciously or unconsciously, where it feels safe to engage with their inner life. She might offer understanding through quiet attentiveness, empathetic responses, or consistent emotional presence. Her reactions show him that he does not need to hide his contradictions or suppress his softer side. In doing so, she mirrors back to him the parts of his psyche that he has neglected, and this reflection fosters both self-awareness and deep emotional connection. The process of inner integration is subtle but powerful. Men often experience internal conflicts between desire and responsibility, strength and vulnerability, independence and connection. These conflicts create tension and a sense of incompleteness, which can remain largely unconscious. When a woman interacts with him in a way that honors all parts of his experience, he feels a sense of alignment. He senses that he can reconcile these contradictions internally while remaining accepted externally. This alignment is experienced as emotional safety, admiration, and trust, and it gradually transforms attraction into a deeper form of love. Men also respond to women who allow them to explore their emotions without fear of judgment or rejection. She does not seek to fix him, control him, or mold him into a particular ideal. Instead, she offers a space where he can acknowledge and express his feelings naturally. This encouragement, even when unspoken, signals to his unconscious mind that he can safely integrate hidden parts of himself. The effect is both grounding and exhilarating. He feels more complete in her presence and simultaneously drawn toward her as the one who enables this internal reconciliation. The psychological impact of this dynamic explains why men often fall in love with women who are emotionally intuitive, patient, and consistent. These qualities are not about performing or impressing. They are about creating an atmosphere where a man can safely confront and embrace the complexities of his inner world. Her influence helps him balance the masculine and feminine aspects of his psyche, allowing him to grow into a more integrated, emotionally mature version of himself. In this sense, love is not simply about admiration or desire. It becomes intertwined with personal development and self-actualization. Ultimately, men fall in love when a woman awakens their unconscious drive toward inner integration because she facilitates a journey toward wholeness. Her presence resonates with parts of him that he may have long ignored, allowing him to reconcile internal conflicts, embrace vulnerability, and feel fully alive within himself. This emotional and psychological process is often invisible to women, yet it is one of the most powerful factors shaping a man's attachment and love. By naturally encouraging his path towards self-integration, she becomes not only an object of desire, but also a catalyst for transformation, and it is in this subtle, profound way that men fall deeply and enduringly in love. In conclusion, men fall in love in ways that are often subtle, unconscious, and deeply psychological, guided not merely by appearances or charm, but by how a woman connects with their inner world. They are drawn to emotional resonance, to women who understand their fears, aspirations, and vulnerabilities without judgment. They respond to those who reflect their hidden anima, who make them feel valued and safe, and who allow them to step out of their persona to be their authentic selves. Love, for men, often grows when a woman awakens the parts of them that have been neglected, suppressed, or unacknowledged, encouraging emotional wholeness and personal integration. What women may overlook is that these quiet, subtle influences, the way they make a man feel seen, understood, and emotionally safe, are the very reasons his heart is captured. Ultimately, a man falls in love not just with who she is, but with how she helps him become the fullest, most complete version of himself, and it is in this profound, invisible alignment that enduring love is born.